Well, a wonderful good morning to you, Grenada Kaiku, PD Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning to you again. It's a wonderful Wednesday morning, and I hope that that's not just an expression on my side, but it is in fact the reality that you're experiencing where you are this wonderful Tuesday morning, today being the 26th day of the month of July. Did we say thanks for being part of this conversation right here on Classic in the Morning Time. We're getting ready to join our friends on television in just a bit as we get ready to a conversation that touches and surrounds one of the heralded theatrical pieces that we've seen in theater in recent times. And there is so many different plots and themes to it, sub-themes. There is suspense, there's drama, there's animation. If we probably try to describe it in one word, it probably would be wow. Totally out of this world. One of those once in a lifetime and that's not one word, is it here? Even me can't find one word. Maybe I just say wow. Or maybe I just probably say Sam. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. That's high praise. Great. I'm glad to hear.
We're talking about Fedon, and it's interesting that a lot of young persons may not necessarily be able to appreciate the conversation from a theatrical perspective or from a historic perspective. And certainly theater is not just, it is intended, and it is in fact a platform for learning, and I know you would agree with me. So let's see if we can take them down, give them a historic perspective that at least would allow persons to appreciate not just the youthful at heart, but those that's much older that haven't quite yet come to appreciate the theatrical masterpiece. Was placed on the back burner a bit because of COVID. Here we are. We've said goodbye to COVID in principle, while it still exists among us, but the theatrical performances, the masterpiece that has captivated the heart and spirits of so many, it is here, and the steam train continues to move forward. Paint a picture for us, Sam. Fedon.
So, Fedon, the play. First of all, it's great to be back in front of audiences, real life audiences. We had a great run in February to March, and we're bringing it back again. Fedon, as you rightly said, it is an education experience, but I hope that within the education there is entertainment, which I think is the forefront of theater in the first place. From the genesis of theater, it was there to entertain, and right. Later on social conscience was enveloped in there. But you're going to get equal helpings of both education and entertainment, and it really charged the previously not so well-known story about Fedon. I mean, even myself as a child, I barely heard about Fedon. I just knew it was a camp that you could hike to somewhere in Granny Time. But this play really seeks to flesh out the character of Fedon, what made him the man he was, and what made him decide to fight and to try and keep liberty for his people.
Who was he? His character, personality, his color, his flair. Who was he?
So Julian Fedon, as characterized by Christy Riggs, because mind you, we still had very little history to go on, but through his copious amounts of research and such, he's painted a picture of a very nationalistic individual, a very passionate individual who valued his freedom more than anything else. Sometimes maybe even his family. But his fervor for liberty and preserving his way of life as a Grenadian, not just as a Frenchman, because he was a Frenchman, though born in the Caribbean. He definitely wanted to make sure that the way he had known it all his life was the way that it would stay. And when certain people were infringing on his rights, in this case, the British during the occupation, he was very much staunchly against that because of the mistreatment that even the good old polite British were doing at the time. So definitely one that was passionate about what he wanted. And his passion extended to his wife and to his family, because he did protect them, but he knew the priority. He knew what would happen if he didn't stand up and fight for his nationality, his rights.
As human beings, we're complex in that there's different facets to who we are, and there's no arguments over that. But which part of, even with us as we try to frame and craft our personality, we have different traits that stands out more than others. What would you say? You said he's nationalistic, yes. What are some of the other traits that has been brought to the fore that makes him more complete as a man?
So, as mentioned before, he's definitely family oriented. I've done a couple productions before, and this is the first production that I think gave me the opportunity to flesh out a rounded individual. Most times I'm roaring and I'm angry and trying to get things done my way, but this one actually gave the balance to show that he had a soft side.
Right.
He was romantic. He was a little playful and a little mischievous, but it's just that circumstances formed and fashioned him into being the rebel leader that we know and appreciate now, that has given this spicy story to us here as Grenadians.
And it's those varied aspects of his personality that certainly allows us to connect with him through theater.
Correct. Yes.
There is Fedon, and certainly without him, we talk, of course, there's the wife. If there's a wife, there's going to be the children, there's going to be the in-laws, the extended family, and that cast of individuals that makes the performance what it is. Let's talk about some of the other personalities that is brought to the fore as part of the production.
Sure. So we're introduced to Fedon's father early on in the play, and his mother. His father was a strict Frenchman that came from Bordeaux, and he married a mixed wife. The name slips me at the moment, shame on me, it's been a while. But, I think those two aspects, Pierre, that's his father's name, was a generally laid back man. He was a don't poke the bear kind of individual,
right?
Which maybe rubbed off on other family members, but somehow Julian didn't inherit that gene. His mother, I think, balanced the religious side of him, because she was a very religious and spiritual woman, and around the family as well, we are introduced to one of his brothers, because it's a big family that Fedon came from.
Right.
Maybe Jean-Pierre, who had an instrumental part in making Fedon the leader that he was. I don't want to spoil things. But also, he had a lot of help from, and one can argue he could not go as far as he did without the help and inspiration from slaves that were there. So we have Jean Cocteau, which I think was a crowd favorite. He was definitely the most woke, if you will, of the cast members, in that he was his man at arms. He led a lot of the attacks and was a warrior. He's a Yoruba man that got enslaved or was bought by Pierre Fedon, that's Julian's father, and became his right-hand man for the most part. There was also Ayanti, who is the spiritualist woman. She brought in some of the African spiritualism to it, blended in with some of the Christianity that was put upon the slaves as well.
Right.
And she has also some pivotal roles to play. And of course, my wife Marie, played beautifully by Lisa Graffi James, and she helped to balance out maybe the hard edges that Fedon had there. And once children came into play. No children on stage, unfortunately, so
right.
I can't show my fatherly side yet. That would take true acting.
The real you.
I know I'm not a father. That's what I'm saying. That would be
right. That's what I'm saying. It's going to have to show the real you.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed.
But
so, yeah. Sorry.
And certainly, as you go through you see the on-screen delivery, and all of these different plots, themes, and sub-themes, and different elements that's brought to the fore. Romance, culture, the French connection, the mix of African spirituality, infused with Caribbean life as it is. it makes for a spectacle all by itself. When you add to it, you've had as part of the cast, you've had some relatively new faces, blended in with some veterans, the likes of Mr. Basinski and others new to theater, and of course persons like yourself and others who've literally. How much of a challenge, or was it? Was there any challenge in getting those personalities as it is, as individuals, and your ability to infuse the role as it is as Fedon and getting it? And was there much of a challenge for that, or person just naturally fell in line and it just came alive?
You know what? And maybe this is a testament to our education system, at least from yesteryear. I haven't been in it for a couple of years, so I can't vouch for it. But the Basinski brothers, because both of them are in here, they actually had some theater experience back in high school, and
they did say so.
I don't know if it's because of that or because of their natural gregarious personalities, but they fit right in. You know, they understood the assignment, as the young people like to say nowadays. And it was easy. And you know, they say that acting is reacting, right? So if somebody puts on, as long as you're living in the moment, it's easy. And you know, they fit in perfectly. And of course, acting with veterans like Robert White and Dale Devine.
Let's talk about Dale. The last time I had Dale on with me, and Dale is just a naturally colorful and flamboyant individual.
That she is.
But let's talk about Dale on stage and the role that she plays, coupled with folks like Robert, a naturally colorful individual.
Yes. Dale is a legend in her own right. She's been in countless stage plays, and that experience has come to bear with this. You know, her mix of playfulness and gravitas when the scene calls for it really does add a lot of character and flair to the proceedings. Robert, of course, is consummate professional. He's on all the time. He knows what to do. And you know, I'm honored to be acting with a legend such as him. You know, I've only learned and gained, and we have great camaraderie.
You know what I particularly appreciated with the cast is that you have the likes of Robert, naturally Mr. Human. That's Robert. You meet Robert on any given day, and Robert is always there's always a nice infusion of laughter and comedy to who he is. And then you meet the Basinski brothers, who both based on your perception of who they are, you tend to think they come across as being these. And then, so it's like a total melting pot of these different personalities that came together on one stage. Let's talk about the next production, when and where tickets can be purchased, and what has been the general response to the performances, the deliveries thus far.
So, in general, not in general, I think as the show went on and more people got hip to knowing that the show was on back in the early days, it created a groundswell to the point that the last weekend everyone wanted to go and they were sad that they couldn't get tickets. So this staging, these 3 days that are coming up, is for them, and also for people who will be coming into Grenada around that time. Hopefully they'll get a good taste of Grenadian culture, learn something about the history. The dates, and let me confirm this here because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I'll get it for you right away. The dates are Friday, August 12th, Saturday, August 13th, and Sunday, August 14th. Tickets can be purchased, and this is at the Trade Center, of course, and you know, have to be extremely grateful to them for being able to host us, as always, with Heritage. This is my first staging with Heritage, so you know, they've been very welcoming to me, very accommodating, and you know, it's been a great experience thus far. So places to get tickets: Mitchell's Pharmacy, Food Fair Complex, Gittins Pharmacy on Wall Street, Art and Soul Bookstore, that's in Spice and Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and Heritage Theatre Company in Castlanders. I don't have tickets yet, though.
I think that's what you call the perfect carnival meltdown. The dates. And should be a spectacle not just for returning nationals, but the entire family.
That's right, and I haven't mentioned the fight scenes yet. Some plan has this pass. I hope I could say that word on there.
What? You might as well get us used to it.
Indeed. As we culture.
One of the things I particularly enjoyed is the costuming.
Yes.
It was evident that as part of the production crew, that you went, in order to bring the characters to life, you had to get as real, as close to them in their natural setting, as it were, back then. And you guys did an excellent job of that.
Thank you. All credit goes to the stage managers, stage handlers. We had some people within Heritage that were in charge of that, in particular, Carol Forbes. But, it's a group effort, and thank God we were able to get it. There was a little touch and go here and there, but yes, the costumes definitely helped to elevate the experience, bring you into the time period that Fedon was active in. And,
right.
Yeah, it's great.
I think you've done a really excellent job, and kudos to the entire team. Even if you just walk into the arena and you see the costumes, automatically your mind can't help but doing a throwback, and you wrap yourself into the time period, and then you watch the characters unfold on stage.
Correct.
You watch the characters unfold. Folks, it is Carnival weekend. It is a must-see. There is, of course, the old age Robert White, Dale Divine. But when Dale was here the last time, of course, and if you know me, I'm always at some point going to ask you to fall into character. You can't. Sam, I'm hoping. I know you were probably hoping, you probably thinking I was winding down, and I wasn't going to get to that, right? I realized you started getting more relaxed, yeah? But don't go there with me. We're going to wrap, because of course we have to make way for the midday edition. But certainly, I want you to take the next 2 minutes and fall in character for me.
Let's see. Y'all want to see how I warm up backstage?
Yeah, the slaps. But I'm not hearing the slaps. I need to actually feel it coming through. Slap yourself.
No, sir. You got what you get. All right. So this isn't spoilers. This is the opening monologue that you're greeted with at the start of the scene. So this is good practice for me too, because I was actually traveling for a little bit, so I wasn't able to take advantage. So you'll forgive, but I think I have it.
Let's do this.
Let's see. Tonight, we stand our ground. It has come to this, the moment of truth, the hour of decision, a time of reckoning, if you will. See yonder, as if from the depths of hell, flames of death light up the night sky. The English vermin and their German dogs of war infesting the fields of Shadow, Madame Pestier, and Belvedere, raising their flambeau of death and contemplating their march of death. A march against history. But tonight, we stand our ground. Tonight, we stand on the side of history. 500 pounds for the head of the rebel leader. And for every rebel soldier taken, no mercy. No quarter. But if we die tonight, we do so with honor. Our deaths will be a tribute to the lives that we have led. Our blood will fertilize the hills of Belvedere, and more rebels will spring up and hold our flag high. Future generations will know my name. Je suis la grenade. La grenade, c'est moi. Vive la liberté, fraternité, égalité! Let's see.
generation to come will know his name, and certainly we really you brought. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm like, if this is just the opening act, I am spellbound already. And let's just talk for the next 30 seconds, a minute if you can. Forget the theater. And if you had to speak to a young person, because young persons are not very often able to appreciate that, what would be that one message you would say to them that would probably allow them to give them an appreciation of the value and virtues of theater?
Theater is the basis of the visual arts mediums that we enjoy today. Films and such would not exist without theater. So it's even nicer in the fact that it's kind of unpredictable. Yes, we are following a script, but on any given night, the emotions behind the actor can color their delivery. And good actors like we have in Heritage will adapt to that and create a completely different experience. So sometimes even you think you've seen everything before, sometimes there's just that little extra color behind it that just makes it a new and gives new emotional revelations. And the energy is there all the time. Seeing a fight in real life, if it's scripted, I like the fighting. If you like cricket, come through. It'll be fun. I know young people like excitement too.
Right.
Theater is exciting in its unpredictability.
Excited and unpredictable. Again, Sam, before you go, remind us, the place is where?
Grenada Trade Center.
The dates and time?
12th, 13th, and 14th. Let me make sure I said that right.
Carnival weekend. The weekend after.
Carnival weekend.
But the weekend after Carnival is all. That's a meltdown. That's a real meltdown. After Carnival is all over, and maybe it's a nice way to send off for those visiting. And maybe it's a nice way for parents to get their children as they get ready for the new school term to start to appreciate the virtue of learning in a theatrical setting. Because some of them, they would go to school, and like the Basinski brothers, they would probably be able to appreciate theater from the days of school. I too did some theater. I was involved in theater at school.
Is that right?
That is correct.
So we're pulling you into some theater production soon, man.
One day, my son. One day.
One day.
Anyways,
I see the resemblance already, my father.
Well, up here, not here. maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Anyway,
I should mention 7 o'clock is the showtime start as well.
Starts at 7, Trade Center, 12th, 13th, and the 14th, Grenada. Tickets at various locations. Go out there and be a part of history. Be a part of this. Another theatrical production by Heritage Theatre, Fed On. It's set the 12th, 13th, and the 14th. We're getting ready. We have to leave this conversation here, Sam, because I need to make way, clear the studio, and make way for the midday edition of news, a production for News and Current Affairs Department, and will be presented by one of the team members. To all of you, the listeners of Classic, viewers of GBN Television, so long. Have a really wonderful one. Sam, the rest of you and the team, keep doing what you do. God bless.
Thank you for having me.
Never a problem.
Take care.
Until Grenada, so long. JC loves you. I'm out of here.